Hey guys, I wanted to make a video on SubQ injection of testosterone. I'll assume that you have a prescription for testosterone, but you haven't gotten any of the supplies yet. The first thing you're going to need is a bottle of testosterone. So they come in two common sizes. There's a 10 milliliter bottle and a 1 milliliter bottle. Occasionally you'll find a 5, but 10s and 1s are more common. CVS sells the 10 milliliter bottle cash price for about $120. They're not supposed to apply coupons to controlled substances, but almost every time they've done it for me. The last bottle I think I paid $36 for. If you take a look at Amazon Pharmacy, you'll find the cash price between $55 and $85. So you should be paying less than $90 for a 10 milliliter bottle. The 1 milliliter bottles will be a little bit more expensive for the same quantity just because of the increased packaging cost. Typical dosage is 200 milligrams per week in the beginning, and it'll probably cut back to about 100 to 140 milligrams per week over time. So that's going to be 1 milliliter per week starting out. I like to do twice weekly injections, so I'm just doing half of that on Monday morning and half on Thursday morning. At the moment, I'm at 100 milligrams per week. So I'm doing 0.25 on Monday morning and 0.25 on Thursday morning. The next thing you're gonna need is a syringe and needle. My favorite here are the BD 1 milliliter TB syringes. I'm currently using 25 gauge needle that's 5/8 inch long. I've had good results with a 27 gauge that's 1/2 inch long as well. That's another common choice. These are typically just available online. The problem is California has regulations that don't let manufacturers easily ship them directly to customers. So you're not going to be able to find this on Amazon, or you're not going to be able to get the BD version shipped to your house on Amazon. Some of the off-brands will. But that is not a problem because these are easy to find with some of the online diabetic supply stores. And you can have a box of 100 shipped to you for something like $40. So they're really inexpensive. And then finally, you'll have to find some alcohol swabs, and you can get those at any pharmacy. So there are two possibilities on the syringes. There's what we call the slip tip, and then there's a lure lock. The lure lock screws on, so the needle's held on more securely. The slip tip just slides on there. So today I'll be using the 1 milliliter bottle. And again, this 25 gauge, 5/8 inch long needle. Now, traditionally, testosterone is given intramuscularly with an 18 gauge needle. It's about 1.5 inches long. Testosterone's oil-based, so it's kind of thick, and it takes a little bit of time to withdraw on a 25 or 27 gauge needle. A lot of medical professionals, including nurses and pharmacists, will tell you that you can't do this, and they would never put up with it in a production environment where they're in a hurry, but it's not a problem to do at home. So we'll take a look at this. It only takes a minute or so to do the draw. All right, first thing we have to do is remove the little protective cap. So there it is. Then we'll open up the alcohol wipe. And let's clean the top. Probably isn't necessary the first time when it's sealed like that, but we'll do it just for fun. Now the next thing we want to do is seat our needle really well so that it doesn't come off later. I want 0.25 milliliters or 50 milligrams here, so I'll get 0.25 of air. I'll inject the air in, and then we'll come over in the light so you can see a little bit better. And I'm going to pull this all the way back to 1 because I want to create a big vacuum. And we're just going to take our time and let the testosterone come down. Now this is a fairly full bottle, so I don't have to worry about this so much, but once the level gets down a little bit, you'll have to hold the bottle up or pick it up so that the needle stays in the liquid and isn't in the airspace. So you can see we're already at about 0.9, 0.8, and I want to overshoot a little bit here. So I'm going to let it go to about 0.7. Okay, so that gives me a little bit more than 0.3. I only need 0.25, so that's good. The vacuum will kind of take it forward. I'll get rid of the air bubble and get down to 0.25. So that's what I need right there. So syringe is loaded and we are good to go. Next, I want to pick a spot on my belly. And you can do this pretty much anywhere you have fat. I move it around a little bit. So you can see the last time I did it was right there. You see a little bruise. So I'll probably go here today, but
Just move it around either side of the belly button up high a little bit. Then I'll hit the love handles just so you don't get a sore spot by going the same spot over and over or develop scar tissue. Next, you want to clean the area where you're going to inject. And then just pinch the skin a little bit. You can go in at a 45-degree angle, or you can go straight if you have plenty of fat. If you're slim, you don't have enough fat, then you want to do the angle. But you just stick it in there. And there was zero pain. That did not hurt at all. And I like to gently squeeze it in, just take my time. I want to think that I get less soreness that way. So that is it. And then pull it out, and we are all done. So before you do that, you want to make sure this is seated really well. If you're not careful about seating that, since testosterone's thick, when you press the plunger, you can just separate from the needle and blast it all over your stomach, and you don't want to do that. So yeah, no big deal, zero pain there, and I'll just move it around next time. You want to stay about 1 inch away from your belly button. It's not dangerous to inject in there, but there's some tough connective tissue that just won't absorb as well. Common problems is every now and then you'll get a sore spot. It'll resolve within a week. There doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason. I think I have less coincidence of that if I inject slowly, but it just happens from time to time, and it happens to all my buddies too, so you just put up with that. And that's all it is to it. So final words, a little bit of cleanup. I pulled the needle off, put that in a sharps container, dispose of it properly. Everything else can go in the trash. The testosterone needs to be stored in a cool, dark location. You just want to keep it away from temperature extremes and keep it away from light, because light definitely will degrade it.
And if you get any pushback regarding SubQ versus IM, here is some recently published research that defends the practice.